Hi students, and welcome to today's live Ielts class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here on the west coast of Canada. I hope everybody is having a fantastic and healthy week so far. In this class, everyone, we are starting an Ielts Task 2 writing essay for the academic IELTS. However, the general IELTS Task 2 is basically the same as the academic, so it's valuable for both. This is a members chat class, which means only members can use the chat, but of course everybody is welcome to watch. To become a member, click the join button next to the subscribe button. There's one of our members now. Hi, Arda. While we wait for a few more members to join in, this lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com. That's academicenglishhelp.com. For lots more help with the academic IELTS, visit us there. And for the general IELTS, check us out at gieltshelp.com. That's generalieltshelp.com. On both of those websites, we have lots of help for you to improve your writing, including editing services, as well as lessons, videos, and much, much more. This is our academic IELTS website here with the blue background. We are an official British Council IELTS registration center and certified agents. You can click this big red button to join our premium package. And for the general IELTS, it's the green background at gieltshelp.com, and you can click that big red button there. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access, and it doesn't cost very much, so it's really well worth your investment. 99% of our students are highly satisfied with our services. Students, if you like to use your mobile phones for learning, get our apps, Academic IELTS Help. The app will link to aehelp.com. General IELTS Help app will link to gieltshelp.com. And you can follow us on Instagram, IELTS_AEHelp and GIELTS Help. So check us out there. If you have questions about the IELTS or English or our products, send me an email, adrian@aehelp.com, and I will get back to you in short notice. You can get our exam books from Amazon. Search for our titles on Amazon, AE Helps Academic IELTS or GE Helps General IELTS. We have free live IELTS classes 4 days a week. Today we have task 2, and then in about 90 minutes I will host a reading class where everybody will be able to join in on the chat. Then of course we'll have more classes on Friday and Saturday as well. All right, now let's get into our writing question for the day. Here it is. Okay, so the goal of today's lesson is to understand the question, to come up with some great ideas for the essay, and to begin writing a fantastic introductory paragraph. Maybe we'll get into some body paragraphs. We'll see how we go. The first step when you get to the writing section is just to remember to slow down your reading and focus. Okay. The reason I say that is because you're doing the reading section for an hour before the writing section, and people tend to get really quick with their reading, maybe a little bit too quick. But for these writing questions, you have to really, really concentrate. Okay. So make sure to take your time when you read the Task 1 and Task 2 questions, okay? It's very important. Don't rush. All right. Welcome, Rashika. Hi, Nikhil. Okay, so here we go, everyone. Let's take a look at this IELTS Task 2 writing question, and let's carefully read it. So IELTS Task 2 writing. You should spend about 40 minutes on this task. Many people have difficulty finding work that they enjoy doing. What are the reasons for this, and what can people do to find enjoyable careers? Include any relevant explanations and examples from your own experience. Okay, so once you read this question, the first step is to paraphrase, okay? So step one is paraphrase the question. Using synonyms, descriptions, grammar, and the like. Okay, so state the question in your own words. This is to understand the question, gather thoughts for the question, and useful vocabulary. This is not your introduction. Okay? A lot of students just paraphrase the question and think that, okay, this is my introduction. That's not good writing. It's not considered strong writing to just paraphrase the question and then state that you will discuss these points. We just released a task 2 video on our YouTube channel, an HD video lesson, which basically explains what you should not do in order to get high band scores. And this is one of the points that we very clearly emphasize, that you should not just simply paraphrase the question and state that this essay will discuss these points. That's not considered strong essay writing in the English language, so don't do that. Okay? All right. Arda, Rashika, Nikhil, and the other members who are in the class, please paraphrase this question. So state it with your own words. I'm going to do the same, and then we'll compare. Okay. So don't overcomplicate this. Okay. When you're at home, you can take more time, but during the official Ielts exam, you want to do this very quickly, within a matter of seconds. Okay. Arda says certain individuals find applying for jobs which are fun difficult. What are causes for this, and what can inhabitants do to succeed in seeking pleasant careers? Okay, Arda, not bad. I wouldn't use the word inhabitants. I think that's a bit of an awkward paraphrase. And certain does not paraphrase many. Okay, certain is like some or few. Many is more like a lot. Okay. All right. Rashika says millions of individuals have complexity, have a challenge. Rashika, instead of complexity, complexity is a bit off. So millions of individuals find it challenging to get occupations that they are happy to do. What are the causes of this, and what are actions to discover enjoyable jobs? Good, Rashika. Okay. Nikhil says most individuals are facing difficulty in finding jobs in which they're having fun while doing it. What are the ramifications for this, and what can individuals do to search satisfying jobs? Nikhil, you have one critical mistake in your paraphrase. What are the ramifications? Means what are the consequences? We're not actually looking at the consequences here. We're looking at the causes. It's very different. Don't confuse consequences and causes. Okay, careful. Akshay writes, majority of people are not able to find jobs they want. What are the causes, and what can they do for getting a job? Yeah, Akshay, it's good. Jobs that we want aren't necessarily jobs that we enjoy, so be really careful with that. Okay, certain people want jobs for social status or for having lots of money, not necessarily because they actually enjoy doing it. So careful not to mix up those two. Okay, so a lot of individuals find it challenging to gain a career which they are passionate about. Generally speaking, when a person is passionate about doing an action or an activity, such as work, you're also having fun doing it. If you're passionate about a sport, it's because you enjoy doing it. So those are pretty close. So a lot of individuals find it challenging to gain a career which they are passionate about doing. What causes this situation, and how can people find their dream job which that they like to do? Okay. So, and then don't forget this part too. Include any relevant explanations and examples from your own experience. So, provide clarity using your own background and give clear definitions. Okay. All right. So really take a look at that second part of the last part, I should say, of the question as well, to make sure that you are on the right track. Okay. All right. Because that will reveal a couple of really important points for you. So that's step one. Step two is you have to identify a few different points about the essay, okay? So step two is you must identify the clear and concise topic and controlling idea and author voice. Okay, so as many of you are now familiar, task 2 is a persuasive essay. Persuasive essay is one of the main styles of essay writing. It's where you convince your audience of a certain idea. Okay, Rashika very quickly says that this is a first-person essay. Yeah, so we can write that down. This is a first-person author essay. Exactly. Why do you say that, Rashika? So why is Rashika so quick to say this is a first-person essay? It's not a second person. It's not a third person. So task 2 is either going to be a first person or it's going to be a third-person style essay. This one is a third-person essay or third-person author's voice, meaning you have to use I, me, my in the essay. It means it's your voice. It's the subjective voice of the author. Okay. I still see sometimes students writing you in the essay, like you should do this to find an enjoyable job. That is not a good idea. Okay. This is not a second person, so don't do that. Yeah, Rashika, exactly. So Rashika says they ask about our experience. Okay. All right, good. So let's jump back here a little bit. And Arda is happy to help with that. Arda says the topic is finding difficulties finding enjoyable jobs. Okay. Yeah. So Arda, good. We can even make it simpler here. The topic still, is, even in a simpler form, is enjoyable work. Okay, and the controlling idea are what makes it difficult to find enjoyable work, and what can people do? Okay, so that's what I would say is the topic. That's what I would say is the controlling idea. And the voice of the author is a first-person author essay using I, me, my, myself. So enjoyable career. Why is it difficult to find an enjoyable career? And what can people do to find an enjoyable career? All right. So yeah, if you say difficulty in searching for enjoyable career, that's okay. Specifically, we're just talking about enjoyable careers, right? So the difficult part is not necessarily there in the topic. It's definitely there in the controlling idea, okay? All right. So what's the next step once you have identified these important components? What do you do now? So at home, of course, you should be writing all of this down because you're training your mind to quickly develop these ideas. In the actual official IELTS exam, you're only taking 1 or 2 minutes to come up with these ideas in your mind, and then you are, boom, right into your essay because you have 40 minutes. But at home, you should always write down the plan for your essay so that you train your thinking to really clearly and quickly come up with these ideas. So Arda says, ask what, why, how about the topic and the controlling idea, right? So think critically. So think critically. Step 3. About the topic and controlling idea. Absolutely. So we're going to do that now because this is the way that you develop your thinking. This is the way that you come up with Band 9 answers. Once you have a Band 6 level English, which means fluent English, content becomes king. Okay, that means that you have to have good ideas to get high band scores. You cannot get a Band 9 with just basic, generic types of template writing. It's not possible. Even a Band 8 is not possible. Okay, so ask what, why, and how for the topic. Okay, so let's ask the first question then. What is an enjoyable career? All right, what's your answer to that? So these are some interesting questions, and for many of you who are doing bachelor's, master's, university, these are questions that you should be asking yourself anyway. What is an enjoyable career? So what is it when we say that, hey, that's an enjoyable career? Okay, how would you define that to a person? That's a great question. How would you define that for yourself? Yeah, Nick Hill's asking this question. So what are enjoyable careers? Artist says, what kinds of jobs do people enjoy doing? Okay. So how would you define that? How would you define that? Okay. Think quantitative information. Whenever you're going through these steps of critical thinking, you should also be thinking quantitative information. So something that we can measure, right? Okay. And I can almost feel the cogs and wheels of your brain turning as you're thinking about this answer. So what is an enjoyable career? When would we say for a person that, oh, they really like their job? Artist says careers that people enjoy doing, that people bury themselves to gain, and the careers they enjoy. Arda, that's called circular reasoning. You haven't actually explained the question. You've just repeated the question. So jobs people enjoy doing are jobs that they like. The jobs that they like are jobs that they enjoy doing. That's called circular reasoning. That's not good logic or good writing. So you have to rethink it. Rashika says jobs people like or enjoy doing. Again, it's circular reasoning, Rashika. It's not a definition. So when you have circular reasoning, you know you're in trouble. So you have to rethink it. Okay. Always avoid. And this is a very important tip for university. So enjoyable work is our jobs people like to do. This is not, okay, a good definition. You really haven't explained anything if you give this definition. So avoid this circular reasoning, right? Enjoyable work are jobs people like to do. Jobs people like to do are enjoyable work. Enjoyable work are jobs people like to do. Jobs people like to do are enjoyable work. You see, we can just keep going around in a loop, but if you're an alien from another planet, you really haven't understood anything. You're just kind of like, I'm super confused. Okay, so Rashika says according to their passion. It's a little bit closer. Nick Hill says the jobs that we are more interested or indulge in a specific field. Okay, Nick Hill, good. Again, think of quantitative information. So these are jobs people have a desire to do and to invest their energy in. As much as 40 hours a week, often smiling and feeling positive. While working. Okay, so get into it as much as you can, all right? Keep thinking about it. So one way to do this, of course, is to visualize it, right? Like imagine you're doing your dream job. How do you see yourself? So you should see yourself waking up with a smile, full of energy, being like, okay, I want to go to work. I want to complete this assignment. I want to finish this job or this project. Okay, you're excited. I want to help these people if you're a doctor, right? So you're super excited about it. You don't feel like it's some kind of pressure or responsibility that you have to do even when you feel terrible, okay? Yeah, very good. So Rashika, much better. So Rashika says it's jobs that provide people with self-esteem, money to survive, and a feeling of happiness. Yeah, that's much better, Rashika. I'm sure you can see that, right? Nick Hill says it's jobs that we are more interested in doing in a specific field. Yeah, so being interested in it is absolutely a part of it. So these are jobs that people have a desire to do. So it means you want to do it and invest their energy in as much as 40 hours a week, often smiling and feeling positive while working. So it's their mood is great, okay? All right. Arda says, the next question that we should ask is, why do people have difficulties finding enjoyable jobs? Yeah, okay, let's ask that question. So, why is it difficult for people to find enjoyable jobs? Okay, so what are the answers for this? Now you have to be really careful here. So think about what 9 out of 10 people would say. So what would most people say if you asked them, like, why did you have difficulty finding a job that you like to do? Yeah, Deebarak, I'm reading your answer to the previous question, and that's good. Okay, so Deebarak says these are jobs that excite individuals and help them wake up with great happiness every day, pumped with desire until the end of the week. Yeah, Deebarak, that's a much better definition for sure. Okay, All right, and you've got some quantitative information. Okay, Arda says they get paid less than other jobs. I'm not sure about that, Arda, so I don't know what you mean by that, getting paid less than other jobs. Okay, so give me a little bit more information. That's not a clear answer for me. So why is it difficult for people to find enjoyable jobs? They get paid less. Low education or lower opportunities. Okay, Rashika. Sure. So let's go with one. So yeah. And okay. Yeah, so Rajveer and Rashika both said this one here is that simply they do not have the necessary education for the job. So I want to be a veterinarian. I want to help animals. It's my passion. I love animals, but I'm not a veterinarian because I don't have the education to be a veterinarian. Okay, that's definitely a possibility there. There's a lack of availability for the job in their field. So I want to be an astronaut. I want to go to space. I want to see the Earth and the moon from space. But hey, there's only like 10 jobs for that in the entire world every few years. So that's not going to happen. Notice again, I'm using visualization to come up with these ideas, right? So Nick Hill says more competition. People are applying for high-paid jobs rather than enjoyable careers. Yeah, I think that's another one, Nick Hill. That's a good point. Is people pursue money rather than interest. Yeah, I think that's a good one. So again, it's the Ielts exam. You can't write about all of these ideas in great detail because you simply will not have enough time and space for completing the essay in 40 minutes. So you have to limit yourself. So as soon as you have a few good answers like this, you should probably go to the next questions, okay? So especially in the Ielts exam, all right? So the next question here is, how can this be observed in the real job market? Okay, that would be my next question. And the answers I gave you, those specific examples, that's what you're thinking about here. So person wants to be a vet, but does not have a veterinary degree. Okay, so for example, all right, or the other one that I mentioned, person wants to be an astronaut, but not enough jobs. Yeah, maybe in the future, right? Maybe in 50 or 100 years. Maybe in a 50 or 100 years, astronaut. I don't even know how to spell astronaut. That's probably why I will never be an astronaut. But anyway, here we go. So, person wants to be an astronaut, but not enough jobs today. Maybe in the future. Who knows, right? Okay. Or person wants to be a cook, but not enough money, right? That would be a third one for the third point. Okay. All right. So that would be the how. So how can this be observed in the real job market? So if you have these ideas, now for the first question, you're going to come up with some great points, okay? So what is an enjoyable career? These are jobs people have a desire to do, to invest their energy in as much as 40 hours a week or more, often smiling, feeling positive while working. Why is it difficult for people to find enjoyable jobs? There's a lack of available jobs in their field of interest. They do not have the necessary education for the job, or people pursue money rather than interest. How can this be observed in the real job market? Well, a person wants to be a vet but does not have a veterinary degree. A person wants to be an astronaut but there's not enough jobs. A person wants to be a cook, but there's just simply not enough money in being a cook, right? So, all right. Now, what's my next question? Okay, so far I'm doing great. Now I can ask what, why, how about what? What's my next step? Okay, so I've got one more really important step here in my planning. What do I do? I should focus on the original question, the task 2 question, right? It's a 2-part question. And this question is especially challenging because it's an open question. It's not a yes or no. It's not an agree or disagree. It's not a discuss both sides with both sides given, but it's an open question, right? So what are the reasons for this? What can people do to find enjoyable careers? Yeah. So that's the second question, right? Is what can people do to find enjoyable careers? Okay, that is $1 million question. So give me the answer based on your thoughts here. So what are the solutions for this? Yeah, Rajveer. So what can people do to find enjoyable careers? And this is a question that most of us at some point in our lives deal with very intimately, and it becomes a very important question in our lives. So what can people do to find enjoyable careers? Okay. And this is a question that all academic Ielts students who are going to university should be thinking about. So it's a great topic for an essay. And you might want to write this essay even if you're not planning to do the Ielts. You should write a long essay where you write down all these thoughts so that it encourages you to take these steps. Okay, artist says, first they need to find their interests, what they enjoy doing. They should seek jobs in their field of interest, maybe online. Okay, Rajveer says, improve their academic skills to fulfill their job requirements. Okay, so find a job that is fun and gain the necessary academic skills and gain the necessary skills and certifications. Okay, sure. Nick Hill says get higher education, get in-depth knowledge in the field they want. Yeah. Okay, Deebarak says one can establish his own small startup company and invest their time and resources. This gives an individual the flexibility that they need. Okay, Deebarak, I think you're on the right path as well. Okay, so yeah, so taking a page from my life, being an ESL instructor or even an Ielts instructor on a one-on-one basis is not very lucrative. So there's not a lot of money in training or tutoring individuals one-on-one for the IELTS exam. However, I'm really passionate about helping people with the IELTS exam, but I do need to make more money to give a high quality of life for my 2 children, my wife, and myself. So I've thought about, hey, how can I improve helping people learn for the IELTS exam, improve teaching English while making more money? So you build a business around it, right? Some people are passionate about cleaning. Obviously, there's not a lot of work in going to somebody's house and doing the job yourself. But if you build a cleaning company, then you can make lots of money, right? So finding ways to make more money through business growth is a good way to overcome the obstacle of financial resources, okay? All right. Creating the job in the job sector. So finding a job that is fun, gaining the necessary skills and certifications, and also becoming elite in the field. I'll never forget, I had a friend in university that used to say, C's and D's get great degrees. And I looked at him and I said, hey, just because that rhymes, that doesn't make sense. If you want to find your dream job, you do have to be competitive. You have to excel. You have to be better than the other candidates. So you have to become elite in the field. In fact, for students who are looking to become doctors, when you do the MCAT, or for students who are looking to become lawyers, your score is graded in competition to other medical students or law students. So that type of exam, your score is actually based on how well the other people doing the test perform. So you have to be competitive, okay? All right, fine. So now we have our answers here, okay? We might want to think about the how as well and the why, okay? So how can people do this, or why should people do this? Okay, you can think about those. And how can people do this? By going to great universities such as the University of British Columbia for their veterinary degree. Okay, for instance, all right. Opening their own vet clinic. Okay. All right. So now, once we've done all of this critical thinking, the what, why, how, we can come up with our thesis statement. So that's our next step. Okay. And I believe that is step 4 here. Yeah. So step 4, come up with a clear and direct thesis statement that provides your reader with an idea of your argument points. Okay, it's very important. This is discussed in the essay. So let's go back here and let's just review a couple of the key questions for our thesis. So this is one here. Why is it difficult for people to find enjoyable jobs? There's a lack of available jobs in their field of interest. They do not have the necessary education for the job. People pursue money rather than interest. Okay, so we've got a few points there. We might want to be a bit careful of how we put that into our thesis statements. And then we have our next one here. What can people do to find enjoyable careers? Finding a job that is fun to gain the necessary skills, certifications, find ways to make more money through business growth, becoming elite in the field. Okay. So based on that information, come up with your thesis statement. Okay, let's see if you can come up with some great thesis statements for your essay. All right, and this is the golden sentence of your introduction. If you have a great thesis, you will have a great essay. If you have a bad thesis, it's pretty much an uphill battle for the rest of the essay, and it's virtually impossible to get a Band 8 or a Band 9 on your Ielts without a good thesis statement. So come up with a good thesis statement. Keep in mind, when you do your thesis statement, this is a first-person author voice. Okay? That should be clear in your thesis that this is a first-person essay. All right? All right. D-Brock says, build a business around your passion. When one's passion becomes their job, one is certainly going to put more of their energy in it, and this process gets to be productive and lucrative. Okay, D-Brock, that does not sound like a thesis statement. It sounds like an answer to some of the critical thinking, but it doesn't quite sound like a clear thesis statement yet. So I'm going to write my thesis here, and then we'll compare. All right. So there is... Okay, D-Brock, good. So you're saying, yeah, that's your critical thinking. Good, good. All right. So there's my thesis statement. And I decided to do it as a two-part. Again, remember, your thesis statement doesn't have to be one sentence, especially when you have two questions like this. So what are the causes for this? And what are the solutions, basically, or what are ways that people can overcome this? All right. And so my thesis statement here is, I'm going to read it while we wait for some of yours. I can feel you thinking. So here's my thesis statement. I believe the reason people find it hard to pursue enjoyable careers is they lack education credentials, job opportunity, and financial incentive. However, these hurdles can be overcome through higher level academics and business growth. Okay. All right. Let's see what you come up with. So notice again how it's two parts. So here, basically the first sentence will be my first body paragraph, and my second sentence will be my second body paragraph, right? Nick Hill writes, although the causes that most individuals face difficulty to pursue enjoyable careers are they lack education and finances. Okay, you should right away, Nick Hill, start with your personal first-person voice. So I believe the causes for individuals facing difficulties to pursue enjoyable careers are lack of education and finances, comma, I believe these can be overcome through getting academic skills, and establishing business. Okay, yeah, so Nick Hill, the ideas are there, but the grammar and the language need correction, all right? Rajveer says, I believe the prime causes that people face challenges in finding enjoyable jobs or lack of competency and opportunities. These problems can be resolved by gaining necessary skills and financial stability. Okay, Rajveer, good. So Rajveer, you decided to take out at least one of the three of these so that you're guaranteed that you're not going to run out of time, right? Rashika says the main reason people cannot achieve their desired jobs are lack of knowledge in their field and lack of career opportunities. Okay, so just lack of only once, Rashika. Lack of knowledge in their field and opportunities. Okay, that's all you need, because field and lack of will modify both. However, achieving a high-level education and pursuing business, maybe. Okay, Rashika, but you're on the right idea. Okay, so now you can compose your introductory paragraph. Okay, and in the introductory paragraph, we have, as you know, the hook plus background plus thesis. Okay, and in order to get a band 8 or a band 9, you have to have these standard components. All right, I don't care who says what. If your IELTS teacher says, oh, you don't need a hook in task 2 IELTS, it's not true. If you talk to examiners that actually mark these task 2s, they say that, yeah, for any high band essay, we are looking for a clear hook, we're looking for a clear thesis, and we're looking for background. Okay, so the hook should always include your topic. The topic here is enjoyable career. Okay. All right, I'm going to keep it simple. So I would just say it is every person's dream to have a fun job in their life, right? I think that's a fair argument to make, and I definitely think that will capture my audience. So everybody wants a fun job, right? We all want to have a job that we enjoy doing. If you have a job you enjoy doing, you have a happy life. If you don't like your work, it's really difficult to have a fun life. So it's every person's dream to have a fun job in their life. Now, my background is simply coming out of my definitions, right? So, what is an enjoyable career? Well, let's just grab it. I can probably just stick that right in there. Okay, if I have a good definition here, so it's not the paraphrase of the question, but it's a definition of the topic that becomes this part of the essay. All right, so it is all persons' dream to have a fun job in their life. These are jobs people have a desire to do and to invest their energy in as much as 40 hours a week, often smiling and feeling positive while working. Okay, I definitely don't like that correction there. All right, why? Okay, so the importance of the idea here. So in this way, people are more productive and enjoy a high quality of life. Okay. All right. Now, all I do is I put in my thesis and I'm off to the races. So the big reason for investing time for good planning is so that you can write quickly and efficiently. Okay, a little bit of planning really does go a long way. So here you can see the hook, the background and the thesis all kind of come together based on the planning. Okay? Let me just read it and make sure that it's sensible. It is every person's dream to have a fun job in their life. These are jobs people have a desire to do and to invest their energy in as much as 40 hours a week, often smiling and feeling positive while working. In this way, people are more productive and enjoy a high quality of life. I believe the reasons people find it hard to pursue enjoyable careers is they lack education credentials, job opportunities, and financial incentives. I have to watch my plurals here. So education credentials, job opportunities, make these all plural, and financial incentives. However, these hurdles is another way to say challenges, can be overcome through higher level academics and business growth. Okay. Looking good. So that would be your Band 9 introduction for this question. And now you're off to the races. Okay. All right. Rajveer says for the hook, we could say everyone desires to have an enjoyable career. Yeah, absolutely, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 words, Rajveer, to the point. Boom, I want to read your essay because I too want an enjoyable career. So I want to read what you have to write about this. Rashika, same idea, very good. An enjoyable career is the main goal of every person, not every people, every person, right? Because every is one, every person. Deepika, getting the dream job is a big task to fulfill in one's life. Don't use huge. Okay, Deepika, don't use the word huge. Avoid that in your writing. It's too colloquial. Okay, so members, we will continue with this writing question tomorrow. We'll work on the body paragraphs and the conclusion. For everybody who's watching, check us out at aehelp.com and glshelp.com for lots more help with your writing, reading, speaking, listening. Click this big red button. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. Join the club of our members who are successful on their exam. aehelp.com is the blue background for the academic Ielts, okay? So it's the blue black background. Again, one-time payment for lifetime access. It's well worth it. So that's it for today. Thank you so much, Deepika, Rashika, Rajveer, the Barak, for Nick Hill for being in the class. Arda, thank you. Have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, everyone. I'll be back in 30 minutes with reading practice and strategy for the IELTS exam. So hang around for that if you have time. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out from beautiful Victoria for now. Bye.